As society goes forward, the only thing, even in a Muslim society, of course the first thing we're concerned about, like the first generation, the only thing on their minds was, what is permissible, what is not permissible? What is it that we have to do, and what is it that we have to forbid? That was their primary concern. Nothing else mattered. Everything else was secondary. But as time goes on in an ummah, society and its pressure starts mixing in. So you don't just have the obligation to abide by what Allah says, now you also have the obligation to abide by what society says. You've got additional chains. You've got additional burdens. And the messenger comes to let go of those burdens. We think we follow societal pressure because it'll make life easy. It does nothing but make life harder. A lot of times when people follow a particular tradition, and I'll give you an example closer to home. I'm from Pakistan originally, and this is a problem in Pakistan, I'll tell you. We have to have the most lavish kinds of weddings. We have the most exotic, the most over-the-top, super expensive kinds of weddings. Even if the family can't afford it. Even if they can't afford it, they have to have that kind of wedding. And if you ask the family, why are you doing this? Why are you putting yourself in thousands of dollars of credit card debt? Why are you doing that? They say, well, your cousin had a wedding like that. What are we going to show? How are we going to show our face to your uncle? Or this friend of yours got married. They had a big wedding. How are we going to just have a nikah at the masjid? What are you, crazy? We have to show our face in society. It's not because the deen says you should go over the top. It's what? Society. Society. And so they'll put themselves in all kinds of financial trouble. And imagine a young man and woman who are just getting married, and it'll be lucky if they're young, because if they're from the countries we come from, they don't let them get them married until they're like 30 or something. But if they are young and they get married, they're just starting out, and they start their life with debt. They start their married life with this huge burden on them because of this insane party that no one remembers 3 days later. For nothing else. Just to fulfill a societal urge, this pressure that somebody felt. No other reason. What are people going to say? In Urdu they say, log kya kahenge? Right? What are people going to say if we don't do this? So much concern about what people might say. And it leads you into your deeper troubles for yourself. On the other hand, Allah says, يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ أَن يُخَفِّفَ عَنْكُمْ. Allah just wants to lighten your burden. Allah wants to take the load off of you. That's what the deen is supposed to be. And you'll find people that are enslaved to their culture. They're enslaved to their societal pressure. When they talk about Islam, they say Islam is tough. Islam is too strict. That's exactly what these people say. Islam is too strict. And what's funny is, if they followed even small principles of the deen, their life would be a lot easier. The deen would make their life easier, not harder. And what they're trying to follow only lands them in deeper and deeper and deeper trouble. That's what it lands them into. But they don't realize it. A messenger comes to remove these burdens. But there's another meaning of these burdens also in these chains. You know, when we follow a certain way in our life, our children learn from us. Just like our parents learn from their parents. And it's passed down. So when we stand in front of Allah on Judgment Day and we have generations of people who disobeyed Allah because of societal pressure, we're chained to them. We're tied to them. Their burden is our burden because we set that trend. We set that precedent for them. We have to answer for what they've done also. They have to answer for themselves, and we on top of that. SubhanAllah. It's a serious problem. This is why Ibrahim alayhi salam, as an intelligent father, makes the dua, وَجْعَلْنَا, or actually we are taught to make the dua, وَجْعَلْنَا لِلْمُتَّقِينَ إِمَامًا. Right? Make us imam over al-muttaqeen in Surah Al-Furqan. Because on Judgment Day, we don't want to be tied to people that went down the wrong path. They're going to drag us down with them.